Let me play the little intro, if I remember what button it is. Welcome to Amateur Sports Talk, where we talk all sports and sports betting. First, we'd like to remind anyone that has a gambling problem to please reach out to the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. Also, these are our opinions, and nobody should take this as guaranteed betting advice. Please remember to help us out by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us, and share us with your friends. Now let's get into the show. What's up, everyone? This is Devin with Amateur Life. We're doing a college sports talk this time. I got my brother, Cavi, on the phone.
Hello.
We're going to run through all the games kind of coming up, the main, first round games. Right now going live is the play-in games, the first one at least. There's two today and then two tomorrow. So we'll kind of skip over. Well, we'll probably talk when we get to, like, Alabama, who they're going to play. So we'll talk a little bit about them. So first game kicking it off in the West is number 1 Gonzaga versus 16 Georgia State. Looking at matchups, Gonzaga is all around better and just put every stat line. About the only one that Georgia State can actually is beating them in is steals. But so I don't see any way Gonzaga loses that.
No, Gonzaga's 26-3 versus 18-10.
Yeah.
And Georgia State's just not that 16 seed that's going to upset Gonzaga.
Yeah, exactly.
The spread, it looks like that plus 23.5 right now. So maybe take that as a bet. But other than that, I would just Gonzaga all the way here.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to get a feel, and I'll probably watch like maybe the first night to kind of look at how the second night's going to go, because I don't know whether to go over or unders is kind of what I like to do in college basketball, the totals. So I'll probably be watching, and maybe I'll watch how these first 4 games go to see if these are all kind of on their overs. I'll probably look at taking the overs then, but if they're unders.
Yeah, I like the over here. I mean, Gonzaga could very easily score 100 themselves or more.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, looking at Gonzaga's last 5 games, they haven't played like anybody. Not that really matters, but
yeah. Well, they normally set that up so that way they can get a little bit of rest kind of coming in.
Yeah, and they just lost to St. Mary's, so.
Yeah, St. Mary's knocked them off for the championship. But yeah, so Gonzaga there, first game. Next is Boise State versus Memphis. I go back and forth on this one.
This one's interesting. I mean, I'm just kind of basing it off what Memphis kind of history in the tournament compared to Boise State's, and it's a lot better than Boise State's. So that's kind of why I like them.
Yeah, I like Memphis too. And just looking, they're a little bit better on field goal, a little bit better 3-point percentage for the season, and free throws, they're better. Let's see, just going down the stat lines here, pretty much everything is Memphis's way. Now I know it's more matchups. I believe Boise State has a couple decent players that, I mean, not like all American or anything, but that could be struggle matchups for Memphis. So, but I still would take Memphis just with the way they played.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Memphis has played a lot tougher schedule throughout the season too, and it's going to help them ultimately make a biggest run possible in this tournament. But
yeah. So we're on agreement with the first two. Let's see if we can keep this going. Yukon versus New Mexico State. Now this is the 5 versus 12, which is the rumor to be the upset area.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see New Mexico State beating Yukon.
No, I do not either. I think Yukon will handle them pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about New Mexico State, to be honest.
I don't. Looking at the stat line, they're a little bit better for their 2-point shot, so they must have a decent guy down low. But still, Yukon averages 14 rebounds, offensive rebounds compared to 11.2, defensive rebounds. New Mexico State's, I guess, a little bit better there, so should be a good matchup down low. So I think with Yukon being a better 3-point shooter and better free throws, they're going to take that game.
Yeah, 100% I agree. First, I think the West is pretty.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see a lot of upsets coming out of the West for sure. Next we got Arkansas versus Vermont, and I mean, I guess I don't really know how Vermont, but I know how Arkansas has been, and there's no way I see them losing this first round.
No, not a chance. This is looking at the matchup predictions. Actually, pretty even for these two teams. It kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
So, which is weird, but yeah, I think Arkansas wins by at least 10 here.
I would think so. Now, going into the bottom half of this bracket, we got Alabama, and they'll be playing the winners of either Rutgers or Notre Dame. Now, in my opinion,
one does scare me a little bit.
So this one, I think it all depends on who Alabama gets. Sorry. Right now, I think they're going to get Rutgers. I think Rutgers is going to beat Notre Dame. And if they get matched up against Rutgers, unless they're hot on their 3, which they haven't been that lately, I'm thinking Rutgers are going to. But I like a better matchup is if Notre Dame wins and Alabama has to play Notre Dame. So I can't go back and forth. It's all going to depend on who Alabama plays. If it's Rutgers, I'm putting Rutgers on. If it's Notre Dame, I'm putting Alabama.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I'm going with Alabama either way, but I mean they've been struggling so bad. I mean they lost 3 of their last 5, and they should have lost to Vanderbilt the first time they played them, and they lost them in the tournament. And they're just so streaky. But I mean last year they kind of showed up in the tournament, so maybe expect that again.
Yeah,
so that's kind of why I like them, and no matter who they play.
Yeah. So that's. Again, I think the matchup, Rutgers is going to give them more trouble than what Notre Dame will. Definitely if they're not hitting their 3s. And so I kind of play that either way. So next is Texas Tech versus Montana State. Again, I don't know anything about Montana State. I've watched a few of Texas Tech games, and I would say Texas Tech all the way.
Yeah, Texas Tech's pretty solid. So
yeah,
Texas Tech is kind of a team I could see maybe making a little run.
Yeah.
I mean, as a 3 seed, it's not like that's
not a huge underdog.
But,
yeah.
Right, but I don't know. So, yeah, the West, like we said, we have a couple more, but it's just pretty just basic.
Yeah. We got Michigan State versus Davidson. With the way Michigan State's been hot lately, I would say they should win that. I could see an upset here, though. Would be like an upset where like one that surprised me.
Yeah, this one is. I think Michigan State will be fine, but if there is one upset in the West, it would be this one.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I don't really know much about Davidson, and I don't think I've watched them at all this season, but I feel like that's just a team that always kind of has attention. You know, that's where Curry came out of. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, that wouldn't shock me. The same with like if Alabama gets beat, it wouldn't shock me. So those are kind of the 2 spots I'm looking for upsets to potentially happen in this West bracket.
If you're high on Michigan State, so the spread's only 1, so you can hammer that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Minus 120 for money line. So
yeah. Next is Duke versus Cal State Fullerton. I got Duke with Coach K's last year.
Yeah, they'll be just fine in this one.
Yep, I think this one and the next one they should be fine, but I believe they're going to end up matching up against Texas Tech, and if they do, that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, that is going to be tough.
All right, we'll jump down into the East bracket. We got.
Who do you think? We can go over it after. I was going to say, who do you think is going to win the West side of the bracket? But
out of the whole thing, I would take Gonzaga.
Yeah,
I would be shocked if they lose. They have there's a lot of the teams like Gonzaga, Illinois. Hey, there's a few other ones that has a lot of seniors, so I just don't see them. With that experience, with the experience there, they're not going to lose. So,
no, if there was a team, it'd be Duke, in my opinion. But I don't think anybody's going to even touch them.
Yeah,
it could be kind of a repeat of last year. They were just rolling everybody.
Yep. All right, jumping to the East, we got number 1 Baylor versus Norfolk State. Again, I don't see Baylor losing that.
No, not a chance.
And then
this one's a little interesting. The next one,
yeah, North Carolina versus Marquette.
They've just been struggling all season. They finally started to play a little better here towards the end, but
yeah,
especially with a big win over Duke.
Yeah, they got the rivalry win. Marquette's been strong too, though, so it's hard.
Yeah, they're sneaky good for sure. I think they have a guard or something, or maybe it's forward. I don't know. That's really good. I can't remember.
Yep.
Maybe it's this Lewis guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I go back and forth on this one. If you were making me take one for sure, I'd probably go with North Carolina just because they've been to the tournament, I feel. I mean, Marquette's been there too, but not as frequent as North Carolina.
I already made my bracket, and I had North Carolina.
Yeah.
North Carolina winning. Like you said, their experience in there it just helps tremendously in the first round.
So looking St. Mary's, and they're going to play the winner of, I believe, tonight's game, Wyoming versus Indiana. I believe Indiana's going to win that one, would be my thought.
Yeah, I am super high in Indiana. I mean, especially the way they played in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
They beat Michigan, they beat Illinois, and they should have beat Iowa, but they kind of choked. They hit a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
And I have them winning the play-in game, and I have them beating St. Mary's as well.
Yeah, that's my opinion. As long as they make it in, and then Indiana moves past St. Mary's as well. Otherwise, I would say, if Wyoming for some reason wins, and St. Mary's is going to take that spot.
Yeah, I think Indiana. I'm pretty high in Indiana. I even think I might have put Indiana beating UCLA, which is their next game. But
yeah. So. Yeah, I could see that as well. Because, like, UCLA, I was kind of shocked. I mean, they played all right this season. They've done pretty good, and they've been a top 10 team. So, I guess it doesn't surprise me but that they got a number 4 seed. But them playing Akron, I don't see Akron doing anything. So, they're definitely going to, I think, get a win. And then, I mean, if St. Mary's is still playing well and does get past somehow Indiana, that could be a good matchup. I see whoever wins, though, from St. Mary's and Indiana, like we're thinking, whoever wins that game should get past UCLA.
Yeah. Only thing UCLA, I mean, I think the last couple of years they just came out of nowhere in the tournament and just started playing really well.
Yeah, they're still they're considered one of the blue bloods.
Yeah.
So they've been just a tough team when it comes to tournament time.
Yeah, right now I have like Indiana beating them, and depending on how Indiana plays in the playing game, may change my decision there.
Yeah. So, next game, Texas versus Virginia Tech. This should be a good game. Texas has been hot. They won their championship, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but Virginia Tech's been pretty strong as well. Goodness, looking through the stats, Virginia Tech's a better 3-point shooter team. They're better for the 2-point. Texas has them better in free throws. Rebounds are pretty close to the same, one different going towards Texas. Defense rebound, though, goes for Virginia Tech. This is a coin flip here.
I like Texas here. I think they'll be just fine. I think they have a little bit more playmakers on their team.
Yeah, on my bracket, I have Texas, but I thought about it for a while. So this is another spot. In the last few years, the upset has been coming in the 6 versus 11 spot.
Mm-hmm.
There's been, they said, I think in the last 5 years, there's been one upset from 6 versus 11 every year. So this is where I could see that coming. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Virginia Tech does get past Texas.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. But right now, pretty high on Texas. Yeah,
I'm gonna roll with Texas. Purdue versus Yale. Purdue's been good all year. I don't see them losing.
Fine, yeah.
I still don't see them losing. And I think they could handle both Texas and Virginia Tech, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Purdue's probably my favorite coming out of the East. So I'm pretty high on Purdue.
Yeah, they'll definitely be probably making it, I would think, to the Final Four.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
That's who I have coming out of the East.
So, I mean, I think they're going to match up against Baylor in the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which will be tough, but I mean, they kind of got a tough road though. They'll have Texas or Virginia Tech who are decent, and then they'll probably have Kentucky, who's going to be a tough matchup, and then they'll have Baylor most likely. So,
yeah,
if they get hot though, I think they'll be fine.
Yep. Murray State versus San Francisco. I really don't know either of these teams. Just kind of from history, I've known Murray State has been in the tournament a few times, so I'd probably lean their way. They're the higher seed as well, so.
Yeah, they're 30-2, so.
Yeah.
They have some playmakers, that's for sure.
Yep. So.
You got a guy averaging 18 points, 7 boards, so. That's solid.
Yeah. Let's see. I was just going to see if they have point total for the other team. They don't in here.
This is another one. The spread's only 1 for this game, so.
Yeah, might be something to watch.
Unless they know something I don't, but.
Well, tournament time's always crazy, and you're closer the seeds are, like 6 or 7 and 10, and then you're 8 and 9, those are kind of closest ones. So we'll move on. You already said Kentucky's going to go on. You see Kentucky going against Purdue. That's kind of how I see too. Is Kentucky? I honestly think they got an easier road than Purdue side of the thing to get to that Sweet 16 matchup there.
Yeah, Kentucky will be fine here. They'll be fine against Murray State, which we are assuming who wins. And then they'll play Purdue, and that's going to be a flip of a coin, to be honest with you. But I think Purdue will take it.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought as well, is that it's going to come down to those two. And then right now, the way I've watched, I would say, Purdue, just because the whole SEC, I don't know if it's similar to the Big Ten when they're just playing each other. Do they just lose to like random teams because they're all pretty good now, or what? But jumping over to the South bracket, Arizona, and they'll be playing either Wright State or Bryant. And again, either one I don't think has a shot at Arizona. So Arizona moving on.
I actually haven't watched Arizona play at all this year, but they're obviously, if they're one seed, they're pretty good. So.
Yeah, I watched probably about a month and a half ago, and yeah, they're pretty good. They're definitely going to be. I think they're going to make it far. So
they have a pretty easy side, in my opinion.
Yep. Yeah. Their whole bracket, the toughest one, I think, realistically looking through the whole South, is going to be Villanova. That I think is going to make it fairly far.
Mm-hmm.
So, Seton Hall versus TCU. I'm kind of going with Seton Hall.
Yeah, I am too. That's who I chose.
Just because they seem to, in the last few years, play well in the tournament. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of my only reason, too.
Now, we got Houston versus University of Alabama, Birmingham. Houston all the way on that one.
Houston will be fine. Yep.
No.
Illinois,
I think, will win that. I mean, Chattanooga does have a big guy down low that's going to match up fairly well. Oh, but he just isn't quite the athlete that Cockburn is.
Yeah, they'll be just fine there.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup between Houston, though, and Illinois next round.
I actually have Illinois winning that.
Yeah, I think I switched it to Houston.
I could see that. It's definitely a coin flip, but I just feel like, I mean, obviously I'm kind of biased with the Big Ten, but I just think there's such a strong conference this year.
Yeah.
That's just going to help them all.
Houston, I think, has, if I remember right from watching them, and I haven't watched them a ton, but they have a couple guys down low that are fairly big, so I think it's going to be tougher for Illinois to play their normal game. I think they're going to have to shoot from the perimeter a little bit more, challenging them, so it'll make it tougher on them.
Yeah.
So.
I think Arizona beats Houston or Illinois as well. So.
Yeah. Moving on, Colorado State versus Michigan. I'm surprised Michigan got an 11 seed with losing to Indiana right away.
Well, Indiana, like we were talking about, I can't believe they had a play-in game. I mean, they beat Michigan, they beat Illinois, they should have beat Iowa.
Yeah, they have a play-in game, and
yeah, but they should have been in for sure.
Well, yeah, but it's weird because like they do like the one play-in game, like for Indiana, they get the 12 seed is what they're getting out of their play-in game. The other one for Rutgers and Notre Dame, that's an 11 seed, so it's kind of odd that it's not just the 16 seed gets the play-in games.
Yeah, it is weird.
You know, makes more sense for all those to be play-in games.
Yeah.
But,
going to this one, though, I think Michigan will be fine in this one.
Yep, I see Michigan. Technically, I mean, it's them pulling an upset, really, but
yeah, they got a pretty lucky seed there.
Yep. But I think they're going to struggle with Tennessee, because I see Tennessee moving past Longwood, and Tennessee's been pretty good.
Tennessee will be just fine, and I don't see Michigan beating Tennessee, unfortunately, but who knows with them. It's kind of when they play their best.
Well, they have been playing stronger. I mean, they didn't have their coach there for a little bit, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So, and
they definitely choked. They had a 20-point lead against Indiana. So.
Yeah, they blew that. So,
I mean, their biggest problem all season is they've just been inconsistent. They can't put two halves together. So if they start doing that, they'll be just fine.
Yep. Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. I kind of like Loyola in this one.
See, I think Ohio State will win, but it's so hard not to. I mean, if I was to take an upset, it's this one. And especially what they did last year.
What's going to kill Loyola is that Ohio State's a pretty good three-point shoot. They're almost a 75% free throw shot, where Loyola Chicago's like 71, I think. So if they get into foul trouble, I think you'll see Ohio State win. I think it's going to be close either way. But I think I'm going to ride with Loyola Chicago.
Okay. I'm going OSU there.
All right. Then Villanova versus Delaware. I see Villanova.
Yeah, Villanova will be fine.
So you got Ohio State versus Villanova. Who do you think will win that matchup?
I think Villanova will beat them.
I think Villanova will beat either one of them, so even against Loyola Chicago.
And I think Villanova will beat Tennessee or Michigan or whoever makes it out of those. And then I don't know who I had for Arizona versus Villanova.
I put Arizona.
I think I did too, but I just really don't know much about either team. I just know they're both pretty good, and the rest of the teams are not as good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we got last side of the bracket, Midwest. And then we got Kansas versus either Texas Southern or Texas A&M. What is it, Catholic Central maybe? CC? I don't really know. What's the score of this game going on right now? Do you know? Do you have it pulled up at all?
I don't have it pulled
up. Score right now, Texas A&M 7. Texas A&M CC is 55.
Yeah.
The stupid app is trying to play a video or play the game, and I just want to watch the score.
Yeah, it's 55-51. 8 minutes left. So.
Yeah. So I don't know either one.
Kansas
I think
will win either way.
Yeah. I don't see Kansas losing to either one of them. Alrighty, moving on to San Diego State versus Creighton.
This one's tough.
It is.
I had San Diego State, but I could very easily see Creighton winning this.
I think I went with Creighton.
Yeah, I mean, that was just flip of a coin. I just kind of.
Yeah, it will all depend on how well San Diego State shoots the three. They're normally fairly good with it, and so I could see them getting a little bit of a lead. Creighton has better free throws and 2 points. But
Yeah. Either way, I think Kansas beats whoever wins that game. So.
yeah, I'd say Kansas takes them. And then Iowa versus Richmond. I see Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's my team this year.
Yeah, with the way they've been playing.
Five seed, but that's kind of. I mean, they're supposed to play well, but I see them going very, very far, if not winning.
Yeah, because I see them winning against more than likely Providence is who I have taken between Providence and South Dakota State, and then I have Iowa taking that matching against Kansas.
I do as well, which is going to be tough to do, but if they stay hot like they are, nobody can beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting up 18 threes a game.
Yeah.
And their defense is really solid. They have a big man that's really good. They have a slasher that's super good. So they stay hot. They're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. So moving down, LSU versus Iowa State. I like LSU to take that one.
Yep. That one was a little tough for me because I don't know. I could have seen upset there. LSU's kind of like a Michigan in a way. Like they're kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, it seems like all the SEC teams are. But again, I don't know if that's just from playing, if the SEC's that well, or what.
Yeah, but I think I did go with LSU in my bracket, but it was a toss-up.
So, yep, I took LSU, and then I took Wisconsin for the next one.
Yep, Wisconsin for sure. And
definitely because they get lucky and they're playing at home.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, in Wisconsin, I guess not home in their actual stadium, but they're in Wisconsin is where they're playing. And they'll play the next game, LSU versus Wisconsin, more than likely, and they get to play home there too, or being in Wisconsin in state. So I could see them winning that as well.
Yeah, I have them winning the lower half of the Midwest. So
see, I have
Wisconsin's pretty solid.
I have them losing to Auburn.
Okay, that was the toss up between.
Because I see
Wisconsin and Auburn. I didn't know, but I'm so high on the Big Ten. I just kind of had to.
USC versus Miami. Who do you got for that one?
I think I put USC.
I took Miami.
I feel like Miami basketball hasn't really been like a thing.
Not like this year. They've done pretty well. Oh,
right.
Past years they haven't.
Right. You hear more of USC, like. But yeah, I went USC, but I could very easily see Miami winning. It's just another one where it's like doesn't really matter because Auburn should win either way in the next game.
Yeah, I see Auburn winning their first game, then beating whoever, and then I even have them beating Wisconsin coming out of the Sweet 16, and then I actually have Auburn knocking off Iowa in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think I had Wisconsin and Iowa, and I think I had Iowa winning.
Yeah, so my final four is on my current bracket is Gonzaga, Arizona, Auburn, and Purdue.
Mine is very, very close. I could be wrong. I'd have to go look again, but Gonzaga, Arizona, Purdue, and Iowa. So,
yep,
really close.
Yeah, and
I mean, this is a year also I can literally see all 4 number 1 seeds going.
Yeah, well, every year it looks like that,
Right, and then a bunch of crazy stuff happens, but
yeah, but for some reason, it always happens to have some crazy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, who out of your final four, who you're picking to win it all right now?
So I'm pretty sure I had Iowa and Gonzaga in the finals, and I had Gonzaga winning 88-78.
I had Auburn versus Gonzaga, and I had Gonzaga winning it. and I think I put 82-76. Gonzaga win.
Pretty close to what ours was.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think Gonzaga's, after their kind of bad loss against Baylor last year and the way their team is just as good as last year, I think there's nobody that could beat them.
Yeah, pretty much every player returned for the most part, and they should be fairly strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we'll be doing another one of these probably next week or maybe even this weekend or something. I'm pretty busy this weekend though, so probably next week we'll do one to discuss over what how's it going so far in our brackets, and then we'll probably start breaking down betting a little bit more. So then we'll have a better idea of who's playing, how they're playing. So, all right. Well, peace out.
We'll see you.